Welcome everybody to the worst comic book adaptations in history, a new series where I talk about some of the worst comic book adaptations ever. It's going to be character based because you can have a great adaptation in a bad movie and a terrible adaptation in a great movie. From Marvel, DC and everything in between, this is the worst comic book adaptations in history. Now, as we all know, there are many adaptations of comic books that have received a significant boost with the rise of the MCU and superhero media in general. And some have been good, some have been downright awful. I was thinking of who to start this series with, and who better to start with than the one and only, drumroll please, Taskmaster. One thing I've learned about the MCU is that when they do something well, they do it really well. But when they do something bad, it's completely terrible. Taskmaster was a horrible adaptation of his comic book counterpart. I didn't expect much, but I was shocked how bad he was in the Black Widow movie. This one pissed me off because Taskmaster is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. Great design, complex morality, great abilities, and just a general badass. But this is what the MCU had to give you. From this to this, a complete disappointment. Taskmaster aka Tony Masters was born with the ability to imitate any physical ability no matter how complex it is. He became a SHIELD agent and came into the possession of a modified version of the super soldier serum. This would cause him to have problems with his memory, in addition to some powers. Taskmaster is one of the best combatants in all of comics, one of the greatest mercenaries in the Marvel universe. Taskmaster's memory loss is a significant part of his character that adds to his complexity, and they could have played on that to give us a compelling movie, but what the MCU presented to us was complete character assassination. First of all, his design was trash, he didn't speak, and it was then revealed to be the daughter of the film's antagonist Antonia Dreykov, because those of us that watched the movie were born yesterday and couldn't see that it was a man in that suit. Sometimes I wonder if the suits watch the movies they put out. I think they just signed a check for $200 million, told the directors to make anything and bounced. You see, most people are concerned with how things work and shit like that. I'm more concerned with the why. Why was Taskmaster involved in this mess? You could remove the name Taskmaster and the design and nothing could change. You could have made Antonia like a bad widow or something like this, a mind-controlled widow. But this was awful, completely awful. Thumbs down all the way. You know when they say you ate and left no crumbs? Yeah, the MCU ate Taskmaster, left no crumbs, and spit out this garbage. Taskmaster in all his appearances across comics, games, and TV shows was decent enough. Crazy potential to be adapted into a force to be reckoned with as an anti-hero. But the MCU saw that, and instead of doing something reasonable, they decided to pull down their pants and shit all over this guy. This is why it's important for the people making these movies to familiarize themselves with the material, because if you actually knew the lore of Taskmaster, you would never have thought that what was presented to the public for consumption was acceptable. You wouldn't even consider shelving an interesting story like the one in the comics for this bland piece of shit. The design, oh my god, what the hell is this? How can you see these designs in the comics and opt for this garbage? Outside of the fact that this isn't even practical, he looks like a biker who found weapons and armor on the street. The film presents Taskmaster as a mind-controlled henchman rather than a fully developed character with his own motivations. This portrayal reduced Taskmaster to a mere tool for the antagonist, lacking the agency and complexity that fans expect from such a formidable villain. The decision to make Taskmaster a silent character who only follows orders undermines his entire character. Every single decision made as it relates to adapting Taskmaster was a huge miss. Finally, the showcase of Taskmaster as a fighter, strategist, and overall combatant was lacking. His abilities were not even nerfed, they were non-existent, not to mention boring. You had a chance to show off the photographic reflexes of Taskmaster, and you gave us something so basic, things that we've already seen, just a boring lack of imagination. If this wasn't bad enough, the design for Thunderbolt is even worse. That's why Taskmaster is one of the worst adaptations in comic book history. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share. My social media links are in the description. Which other ones do you want to see me talk about? Let me know in the comment section. I will see you in the next episode. This has been the worst adaptations in comic book history.